Let's get it. Let's get it. Good morning. Good morning. I don't like that one. Let's do another one. All right, let's try that. Let's see how that feels. Let's see here. I think we can live with that one. Listen a few times before I definitely decide on. I see what's happening here. I see what's happening here. Let's pull that out. Pull a little bit of that out. Let's see what we got. All right. And I'll take this off. Good morning, everybody. First here. South Expert before you. All right. Rensis, man. Bernard, good morning to you. Good morning. The directionist, the directorist. I said it wrong every time. I'm sorry. Well, good morning to you. Good morning. Germany is in the building. Good morning to you. All right. Stack that and get that octave thing happening with the bass line. Just something that kind of beefing it up a little bit. This is not mixed this morning, so yeah, just beef it up a little bit. Trying to catch my little pickups that I'm doing too. Trying to remember them. All right. Almost. Now let's do it again. Alright, so I'm missing the I think I'm gonna play an octave up that where I can grab those little pickup octaves that I'm doing. Changes the feel of everything. Feel is everything. That's it. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. For everybody that's watched the Blue Lines video and the No Words video. Actually, the No Words was a throwback, but people are acting like it's new, so I'm good with it. Just go and watch it. So yeah. Thank y'all for that. All right. All right. Let's do something. Have a little fun with it. Oh, if you got your bass out jamming this morning, I'm in the key of C. C major, you can play around with it. C major, dominant, pentatonics, all that kind of stuff. So we're going back and forth, but the C major is the key though. This morning. Everybody feeling good this morning? So if you haven't dropped in the comment where you're watching from this morning, be sure to do that. I always love seeing where you are in the world when I'm doing this. I see we got Germany, Morocco, some other places, Illinois. Who else we have here? Cameroon. Somebody asked about that music from countries like Cameroon. You know what? I see Florida is in the building. Georgia, yes sir. El Paso, I mentioned El Paso. Yeah, be sure to drop those. So you asked, can you play African music, music from countries like Congo, Cameroon? A little bit. And that's not, I don't try to act like I'm, authentic to all these different styles. The way I am though, granted I'll learn a song if I have to learn a song that's from that style of music. I'll learn that song, how it goes, that kind of thing, but as far as just studying a whole bunch of different cultures and that kind of thing, I can't honestly say that I spend a lot of time studying other cultures, but I hear what I hear. You pick up stuff, you can watch TV, watch movies, whatever, and what you pick up is kind of going into your subconscious. So when I'm creating or I'm making a loop or a track like this, and it has some other elements from different countries, I just go with it. I don't try to worry so much about trying to be authentic to this country, because I'm not from there. So, it's going to always have something else on it. So I take the restrictions off myself. I know I'm going around the world with your question, but I take a lot of the restrictions off myself. Not saying that that's not important, but when I'm creating and I'm having fun like this, I take a lot of the restrictions off worrying about how they do it there, that kind of thing. And I play what I hear. So yeah, Atlanta, Georgia in the building. All right, we got some Georgia in here this morning. Let's see here. I'm gonna add some stuff onto this bass. We're just having fun. I haven't used this in a while. See what this feels like. Yeah, we'll see what this feels like. That should be interesting. Let me add that as well. I got my pedal board down here, but I'm just using some sounds off this computer just to play around. Price of what? We'll get there. We'll get there. Stay tuned. We're gonna do the grooves and then we'll get to the top a little later. Savannah, what's up, Floyd? Good morning. Thank God it's Tuesday. Absolutely, man. Andrew, good morning to you. Stephen, Rayford, North Carolina, good morning to you. Germany, that's cool stuff. I think we have more than one Germany in the building. Rebecca, good morning to you. Florida's in the building. Anybody else that I didn't speak to already, good morning to you, Anthony. All right, so let's see what we have here. All right, I'm not mad at that. I haven't used that in a while. We'll play with that. That's going to be kind of fun. Those fingers are still trying to wake up. It's sloppy this morning. We getting there, but it's sloppy. So, all right, let me go back up. I missed some people. Calf, good morning to you, if I'm saying that correctly. Queens, New York is in the building. Good morning to you. I think I said that already. All right, so what software are you using to record on? I am using Logic Pro. I've been on Logic, man, about 10 years now. I really enjoy it. So that's what I'm using. The Directress. Yes, ma'am, I'm using Logic Pro. UK is in the building. Good morning, Carlton. Is the effects in it? Yes, I am. Yeah, the effects is there. I'm using like a wah effect from, you can actually get that same effect from the envelope filter, depending on how you set it. But yeah, this is a wah effect that I'm using. It's actually an external plugin. This is not necessarily on standard Logic. This is an external plugin that I'm using to get that wah effect. And that other effect is a pitcher. I'm pitching the sound up, like taking it up an octave. And that's what you're hearing. That's giving that other kind of octave sound. You're hearing it mixed with my actual bass tone, like you're hearing both, like the blend of both sounds. And so you're kind of getting a 50-50 split of the actual tone of the bass and that octave tone. I like doing that sometimes. It just inspires me. So all these different sounds and all these different things I use in some way, some form of fashion, they inspire me. So that's why I like trying different sounds and trying different stuff, going to a different register, playing, getting attacked with that. The bass is not a guitar, you know what I'm saying? You got to experiment with this thing. You have all of this yardage on this thing, so why not use it all? Why not? You know, you don't have to stay up here all the time. I did this whole track, and there's chords, there's the bass line is there, and the melody is there. So, you know, I got room to go wherever I want to go. I can stay in the lower register, or I can come up here. I got 24 frets on this bass. I want to hit all 24 of them, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So don't limit yourself to just, you know, well, I can only stay in the pocket on this kind of thing. Have fun. I think most people lose their inspiration for playing because they're not having fun anymore. It's always work. I'm always trying to learn something. I'm always trying to do this and trying to keep the rules and trying to make everybody else happy to the point where you don't enjoy it no more. So I stopped worrying about other folks and start, you know, having a lot of fun with it and doing what makes me happy. He said, you just played like Richard Boner. Richard Boner, that's a genius. I take that as a compliment. Richard Boner is a phenomenon of his own. And if you don't know who Richard Boner is, go look him up after this video. Richard Boner, just unbelievable. Bass player, multi-instrumentalist, vocalist, bass player, yeah, all of the above. So yeah, just having fun with this little groove. If y'all ain't figured out by now, I'll just be using this as a practice session where I'll just be trying everything. So if you ain't figured it out by now, you haven't been really paying attention to all of the flubs and everything that happens. I'm just trying and see what I like, what I don't like, what works, what don't work. And the cool part about that is I haven't always been able to do that. I'll go back and Anthony, I'll go back and do that. But I haven't always been able to do that. One of my biggest things that I think what plagues a lot of musicians is that idea, we talked about this, the perfectionist mentality, the perfectionist nature, freaking out because somebody hear you mess up and actually getting to the place, and I'm super grateful to have gotten to the place where it's okay. Like if you hear me mess up, it's cool. Back in the day, I would literally shut down, and this is for somebody, I know it's for somebody, but I would literally shut down if I made a mistake and I messed up and I didn't play something I meant to play. Because as you grow, as you advance as a musician, your ears grow with your skills. So you're always hearing where you need to improve. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you striving to be much better than you are. But you have to tame that thing, get it under control, because if you're not careful, it'll have you on this whole self-defeat mentality. We'll get into that a little later. But always thinking that you have to be perfect in front of people. There's a lot of stuff. I know I do a lot of repetition when I'm here, but I work through ideas here using this platform, if you will, because I feel like this is a really transparent space where we can kind of be honest. And I don't know, a lot of people struggle in their practice time. A lot of people struggle trying to, come up with ideas, trying to practice, trying to work through stuff, and struggle with the idea of getting intimidated in front of certain people. This is intimidating, sitting in front of a camera, and I don't know who's out there looking, but facing that intimidation and actually working through some ideas. All right, so enough of that. The little riff that I was playing was nothing more than the pentatonic shapes. Like major pentatonic, actually major and minor are both the same thing, but depending on relative major minor, you know what I'm talking about, hopefully. But this is C major pentatonic that I'm just working through. So I'm doing it. Something along those lines. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. You know what I'm saying? On the E. One E and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and so it's on the I'm sorry. That ain't what I did. Something wrong. So I was just doing it in the moment, so I'm trying to remember what I did. Something along that lines, but that's all it is. Long story short, it's just playing through the different shapes of the major pentatonic. There's I think I've done a video on it, and if you can't find my video, Travis Dykes has a really good video where he's talking about the 5 shapes of the major pentatonic. I've done it in my monthly membership lessons, so if you're one of my monthly membership members, you've probably seen this lesson already several times, but we deal with the different shapes. But this is not going through the full shape. We're just taking like the first few notes. So we can do it like that. Some along that line. So let me get the difference on here. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. You can put your accents where you want to put them. I'm just kind of playing through it for the and I do a lot of that from time to time where I kind of go and rearrange the notes instead of just doing like taking different just kind of mixing it up from time to time. Just kind of give a different feel for it. No problem, Anthony. That's literally all it is that I was playing, y'all. Let me see here. Will this be an added bass track? I don't know. It's a good possibility, Andre. It's a good possibility. So let's go back. Will you share a little about the picture on IG? What picture? Oh, I just thought about what you're talking about. The picture on IG. Yeah, I know that like folks is looking at that picture scratching their head. Nope, I'll say this much. That's a picture of a fretboard for you guys that didn't figure that out who was following me on IG. If you're not following me on IG, that's J Morgan Bass. That's J Morgan Bass on Instagram. Literally J Morgan Bass. If you're not following me there, but yeah, I shared a picture of a fretboard. Literally, the picture looked like this. That's all you saw, and it's a bass build. I'll say that much. It's a new bass build. That's all I can say for now, and it will be coming soon, and I'm really excited about it. It's definitely something I've been looking forward to for a minute, and I will say this: it's a 6-string. It's another 6-string. So there you go, Steven. I gave you some classified information there, but it's gonna be really fun. I'll leave it at that. It's gonna be really fun. It's a 6-string, and that fretboard, as you can see, the wood in that fretboard, that's in the ebony fretboard. So yeah, there you go. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back here, man. You're preaching to me now. Sometimes I just stop playing in church because they will give you a crazy look. Yeah, you got to get over that, man. People are going to look. This is book I'm reading by Les Brown right now called You Gotta Be Hungry. And he has a quote in that book. He said, opinions are like behinds. Everybody has one. So it's like you can't please everybody, man. You have to. The only way you get out of that spot that you're in concerning your playing, concerning what you're trying to do, you have to try stuff. You can't be afraid to experiment. And everybody's not gonna like everything you do, but that's okay. How do you find out what you like and what you don't like if you don't try it? How do you know if that idea you've been working through all week at home? How do you know if it'll work if you don't try it in context? You have to try this stuff at some point. So like the little riff or whatever you've been kind of working on, like, man, I want to try this, but that very thing, I don't want nobody to look at me crazy if I mess up. No, the fact of the matter is, you gonna probably mess up. That's just the fact. You might mess up the first time you do it. All right, I messed it up the first time. Let me come back and try it again. Y'all see me do it here live all the time. I mess up something and I go right back to it. You're not gonna punk me right here live. No, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it again. You know what I'm saying? Because develop all of it. I talk about this all the time. And if any of you guys or any of my one-on-one students, you know I talk about this. Everything is a muscle. It's all a muscle. And the more you work that muscle, the stronger, the better you get at that particular thing. So if you have this fear of playing certain things in front of people, attack that. Start addressing that. Don't keep brushing it to the side. Don't keep putting it up under the rug like, yeah, I get to it one day. No, you'll never get to it. With that mentality, you have to address it. You have to keep doing it. And the more you keep doing it, you'll notice the better you become. And now what used to be a weakness for you, people will look at it as if you're confident. And to some degree, you are in that area. And it's just the reps. Over time, doing the reps and attacking and addressing what this particular thing is that always seems to set me back. No, I'm going to come at this now. No, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to deal with you one-on-one. I'm going to come straight to you. No, I'm going to play this. I might get it wrong, but I'm going to play it again. I might get it wrong again. All right, I got you on the third go. Well, maybe not the third, maybe the fourth. But the idea is to develop that mentality that I can do this. But you will never develop that mentality standing back on the sidelines like everybody else. You know, that you remember back in school. I don't know if everybody did this, but recess time, they had the 2 jump ropes going. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes they had just the 1 jump rope going. And they always had the rope going, and you just got to jump in. They don't stop it. You just got to jump in. Sometimes that rope might wrap you on that first 2 or 3 times. But if you hang around and do that every other day, you're going to get in there and get a couple of jumps here. You know what I'm saying? You'll get the rhythm of what's happening. But the thing about it, nothing is going to stop moving just so you can become a part of the fun. You got to jump in there and risk the chance of getting wrapped in the head by the jump rope. Sorry for the bad analogy, but that's all I got right now. You just got to jump in and try it. Right? So let's go here. All right, so Anthony said, thank you, no problem, man. She said, Tiffany said, I gotta practice that one. Yeah, you gotta get on that one. Hey Jermaine, words on the 6th string that's in the making for 2021. Yeah, that's I think I just answered that, but yeah, that's my words. That's all I can share with you. Good morning, Miss Tanya. Steven says, true. Not Steven, I'm sorry. Foster says, true, you have to try it. Yeah, that's a great analogy. I appreciate that, Mr. Becker. All right, so what I want to talk about this morning, because somebody jumped on here talking about what the price of what? It's like, what you mean? How much what costs? You sound like one of the people that be ready to go off time. You walk in the building and they don't have the prices on the stuff. Yeah, like, hey, what a price at? You know what I'm saying? I'm just picking on you. So, all right, the price is the price. I've been dealing with this thing for a while now, this idea of value. And it's not so much like from the standpoint that some people might be thinking I'm coming from by saying the price is the price. Like, well, that's my price, you know. In a sense, it's that. But it's more so from the standpoint of learning your value. This talk today was going to be about something completely different. I was talking about, initially I was going to talk about something concerning your playing and your learning, and it's like, nah, I got shifted in a different direction. And I believe this is for somebody today. But yeah, it's funny. Lately I've been on this whole tip about knowing your value. Knowing your value. And there's a couple of points. If you guys are writing, this is Grooves of Motivation. I try to give you stuff that can help you move forward, stuff that can kind of push you forward. I know some of you guys might be driving, so you're not going to be able to write. So I'm going to leave a couple of points. I'm going to leave 4 points today. And somebody feel free to drop them in the comments before we jump off of here so somebody else can come back to this video possibly and get these 4 points that I'll put out. But yeah, the price is the price. What do I mean by that? Stop letting people undervalue you. Stop letting people undervalue you. That's the short end of it. Stop letting people undervalue you. What you do, your value, your personal value, your worth, all these different things. Stop going back and forth with people. Stop going back, and we're going to talk more in depth about that. But once you decide what it is, what it's going to be, what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, and we know, depending on the situation, because this is a lot of my musicians know this. If you record and that kind of thing, we got the, you scratch my back policy. You know about it. If it's the homie, the friend, the brother, somebody that's close, you have a relationship with. It's like, all right, you do this for me, cut some drums for me, and I'm gonna put some bass on something for you. It's that kind of thing. There's an exchange. There's an equal value exchange. I got a great friend of mine, worship pastor. I don't know if he's watching this morning. Worship pastor there in Texas. He and I have been working together for years. And we do that a lot. We exchange value. There's stuff that, there's money exchange from time to time, but for the most part, we do a lot of stuff where we exchange value. It might be, throw something on this for me, or do this, or do that. And we understand, because there's a relationship there, that there's equal value being exchanged. It's like, I'm not giving you something, and I know I'm not going to get nothing in return for it. At some point, I know there's going to be an equal exchange of value there, right? So those situations and those scenarios are a little bit different, but there are people and things and places and certain things that come up where there's no equal exchange of value. And what I mean by that is, like, you can be doing something for people that is definitely adding value to them, but in return, these people refuse to add value to you. And yet and I'm talking about me, and yet time after time, week after week, month after month, even year after year, you're constantly trying to continue to add value, and in a sense, trying to prove your worth to people. Stop. I literally had to make a decision to not necessarily end a relationship, but to draw a line in the sand and let them know, yo, thank you, but I'm done. And what I mean by that don't mean we're going to fall out. That don't mean we're going to, and I got to code this for the sake of the integrity of our relationships. But I had to draw a line in the sand. And again, this doesn't mean we fell out, but this just there's a clear thing to let you know there's no expectation from either side. I don't expect you to do this anymore. So likewise, I hope what I've done has been of value to you and it has added major value to you. But anything I do past this point is on my own. It's not trying to do or to gain or to try to, I'm trying to word stuff correctly. But anything I do past this point is on me. It's not anything that I'm trying to do looking for something or hoping that you see it or hoping that, nah, no more of that. So you have to draw a line in the sand and make that distinction, like, no, I'm not going to do this. And no is just an answer. Good friend of mine, we always have a conversation about being able to tell people no. No is not, I don't like you. No is not, I can't stand what you're doing. No is just simply an answer. Being able to tell people, no, I won't do that. Certain things as musicians, as you progress through your career, as you progress through your journey, you don't have to accept every gig just because it's paying money, or just because the homie is doing it, just because the homies are doing it, or your friends. For some of you that don't know what I'm talking about when I say homies, it should be anybody on here. But just because your friends are all doing this gig, you don't have to do it, and you're not obligated to it. You don't owe anybody anything. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. It's that simple. And stop feeling guilty for something that you didn't do. Once you add the value, this is the first point I want to make. Number one, decide the goal. Decide the goal. Decide where it is you're wanting to go, whether it's musically. I know I got more than just musicians watching this live. Whether it's musical, whether it's in your career, whatever it is, decide that goal. That's the first thing. You got to decide what that target is. I said this quote before: you will never hit a target that you can't, the target that you don't have. You'll never hit a target that you don't have. So you won't know when you've actually reached that goal if you don't have one. You might just be working. Some of y'all just practicing 20 hours a week, going nowhere. Like I tell my kids all the time, y'all just wide open, going nowhere. Just in a hurry with nowhere to go. Set a goal. Have a target. This is what I'm trying to do. This is where I'm trying to be. And this is when I'm trying to get there. So after you start setting, I would say start with setting small goals, because those small goals compound over time. They compound interest over time. So as you set those small goals and you hit those targets one by one by one, you hit these little targets, you begin to stack and you begin to build, and now your value goes up. Your self-worth, it goes up because you're keeping your promises to yourself. All right? And that brings me into my next point. Number two, establish the value. Whatever your value is, establish that. That's through keeping those promises to yourself. That's through keeping those goals and maintaining that vision of where it is you want to go. Establish that value, and that means keeping your word. If you say you're going to do this, do it. Don't. It's something, I'm super huge about this. I hate to overpromise and underdeliver. So if someone asks me to do something, chances are I'm going to probably check and see what I have going on before I give you an answer. Or I might have to just kind of look at my schedule or look at what's happening. Good morning to you, Tyrone. I got to look and see what's happening, because what I don't want to do is, because I'm cool with you, just say, oh yeah, man, cool. And respond quickly without thinking it all the way through. And now, and not to be confused with making decisions quickly. I'll come back to that. But I respond quickly before even considering what's going into this. It's like, hey man, can you come do this gig on the 14th because such and such and such and such? And I'm all right, yeah man, cool. Yeah, I'm down. Because it's somebody cool and you don't want to tell them no. Going back to not being able to say no. You say something and now you put yourself in a situation because you've already promised somebody something 2 weeks ago or a month ago or a year ago, and you forgot about it. And you didn't check that date to make sure it was okay. So now you got to backpedal and be like, man, I ain't even realize, that I had something else going on. When you could have just took a moment to say, hey, let me check and get back with you. I'll get back with you in the next hour, by the end of the day. However much time you need, just don't take too long. Now, again, not to be confused with making decisions quickly. Like, be able to decide, when you kind of have an outline, or you can go to your phone really quickly or wherever you keep your planner or your schedule, and you don't have anything going on, don't drag it out. Don't drag it out. Like, you ain't got nothing else going on. Okay, either commit or don't. Either say, yes, I can, or no, I can't. In certain situations, no, all right, this might be a benefit to me. And you're going to be taking a risk because you might lose. And this goes beyond music. So being able to have the ability to make that decision fast and just decide and do it, not just dragging it out. I know people, you can ask them to do something or you can ask them to be a part of something, and it's like, bruh, I asked you that like months ago. And it's like, when it's all said and done, you've already kind of collected the people or the resources that you need. Now they're coming. It's like, I don't need you now. And that's just one scenario about it. And other times is like when there's an opportunity that's available and you drag your feet on the opportunity. And now somebody else benefited greatly off that opportunity. You didn't get anything because you're too busy trying to, well, let me see, let me think. I don't know if I can do this. And by the time the opportunity has matured, like if it was a business situation, everybody else had made money and you sitting there still thinking, trying to figure out what you should do. So still having the ability to make decisions quickly. All right. So number 3, I like this one. Maintain integrity. Maintain integrity. After adding value, set the goals, which you define whatever that target is. and now you start to add value to yourself. Let's put this, because I might be over some people's head with this. Let's put this in straight musical terms. All right, I've been playing bass for a year, just hypothetically speaking. I've been playing bass for a year or 2 years. How many years I've been playing bass? I'm not where I want to be. All right, so let's set a goal. Well, in 6 months, I want to be here. So these are the steps I'm going to take. And sometimes you might have to get a mentor or somebody to help you to get to figure out what that needs to be, because you might not know what it looks like. You don't know what you don't know. I'm here with my coaching calls to help you in that regard if you're needing help. But I digress. So set that goal, set that target of where it is you're trying to go. Now begin to do the work to establish the value, keeping your word and doing all these different things, and maintain the integrity. Maintain the integrity. Like, don't let your work be in question. Don't let your consistency be in question. Now, like I said earlier, it's kind of go back to letting your yes be yes, letting your no be no. Be who you are at all times. Don't change that based on who you're around. Well, everybody else in this situation is not really pushing, or music is not. Let's use what's going on now. The venues, there's not a lot of venues open that were open before, so I need to be focusing on something else right now. If you decided to get on this journey based on the fact that you wanted to get better, regardless of if music, kind of like a marriage vow, you didn't sign up for the marriage based on everything being great. You know that some arguments was going to come up. You know there was some things that was going to happen. You might not even know to what extent, but you signed up for this. When you put this on, if you have one of these on, you signed up for all of this. So don't back out. Now when the trouble comes, as a musician, we're in a situation that most of us don't want to be in. And a lot of people have found themselves doing other things to make ends meet. And I totally understand that. But at the same time, you know it's not going to stay like this forever. So don't let your musical gifts or your talents, your skills that you spent all these years developing, go to the ground because you're not gigging right now. Keep your skills sharpened. Maintain the integrity of your playing, even when nobody else is watching. Integrity is that thing you do, integrity is that thing you do when nobody else is watching. It's how you maintain when nobody else is watching. When nobody else is looking, how you maintain. Do you keep your word to yourself? Do you keep your promise to yourself? Do you get up like you say you get up in the morning, Jermaine, when ain't nobody looking? When you don't have to go live, are you still getting up in the morning? Okay? Because what's going to ultimately tell is that consistency. We're going to see the progress. We're going to see the growth. We're going to know if you're doing anything, because if you're not being productive, it'll show. It'll show over time. You can only fake the funk for so long. There's a saying that fake it till you make it. But the problem is when you make it and you've been faking it the whole time, now you got a whole bunch of work to do once you finally get there to stay there. But if you've been doing the work consistently, you ain't got to fake it. Because you're doing the work. You're putting in the work. I get the context of that term, fake it till you make it. But if you're consistently doing the work, it ain't fake. It's real. So now when you're presented with opportunities, you're presented with obstacles, things that you didn't necessarily have in your mind that were going to come up, because you've been doing that work over and over and over again, you're prepared to handle it. Now I ain't trying to be something else. I'm not trying to find another costume to put on because I've been faking this one so long, and now at this level, that particular costume is not working, so let me put on another costume. No, it's the same person. Let's just raise up the energy. Let's raise up the output of what we're doing and match what's being required, because we've been doing the work, so we know we just got to put a couple more weights on and do a few more reps. That's all. But when you're faking it, it's like you're in there with some dummy weights. So when somebody puts some real weights on there, what's going to happen? You ain't going to be pushing them off because you've been faking the whole time. So being consistent is a huge thing. And the last point I'll make, not to be super long-winded with this, stop the self-sabotage. This pretty much wraps up everything I'm trying to say with this. Stop the self-sabotage. Once you decide the goal, I keep looking at my notes here, once you establish the value, once you maintain the integrity, that means you've done all the work necessary to say, hey, my price is my price. Figuratively and literally speaking. The price is the price. So I'm not going to let you, because you don't see my value, I'm not going to let you devalue me, because I've been honest with myself. I know what my target was, and I hit that target, and I hit the other target, and I hit the other target. So I know I've been consistently keeping my promises to myself, and I've been consistently adding value to myself and possibly to you, this organization or whatever this thing is. I know I've added the value to this thing. But just because you don't see it, I'm not going to back down on what I know just to make you comfortable. Just to make you feel good because you refuse to acknowledge the value that's there. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Some of y'all are doing this in relationships, just trying to hang on to people because you're scared of rejection. You're scared of what I feel like I'm one of the type of people. I care a lot about other people. That's just a default of mine for whatever reason. I care a lot about, I know it's like, okay, that's a good thing. Sometimes it can be, and sometimes it can be bad. Because people knowing that will take advantage of the fact that you do care about people. And so if you are a people person and you care a lot about people, be careful not to let people use that superpower against you, because the fact that you care so much about people, people will spin that and start using that against you. Well, man, they'll give you these sad sob stories. Well, I've just been going through and I've been doing this and I've been doing that. Yeah, but you had money to do that. Wait a minute. I know that you did such and such for that. Granted, you're not with that, I got to be careful when I'm saying this. You're not in somebody's wallet. You're not in their purse. You're not in their pocket trying to count their dollars and count what they're spending and that kind of thing. But you need to be observant, like recognize patterns, recognize what people are doing, because anybody can give you a great sob story. Somebody's dog just died and the cat got sick trying to take care of the dog. Now you got to go find somebody to take the cat off because the dog died and the cat got what the dog had, and you just been so sad, and because you've been so sad, you just been like, it can go on and just keep building and building. And so they pull on your emotions and they cause you to start lowering whatever that value is. Man, well, just put it in the gig context. Well, man, I ain't, and this is not the homies. This is just somebody that, again, does not add equal value to you. You're always giving, you're always doing for them, and there's hardly anything in return. But when it comes to time for them to return, there's an excuse. There's, well, I don't know if I can do that, man. I just been, but you can do something. You can do something. It might not be what you wanted to do, but you can make an effort. And effort goes a long way. For me, in relationships, whether it's business or whether it's personal, the effort goes a long way. You might not, when it comes to pricing, you might not can give me what I normally charge, but the effort of you trying to value what you know is there, all this work that I put in, you showing the effort that you actually do value it, yeah, that makes a lot of difference. And I can tell when it's genuine and when it's fake. I can tell when you're trying to just throw me a bone and when you genuinely want to do more and you can't. That's a completely different conversation. But stop allowing people, after you put the work in, stop allowing people to second guess your value when you know the value of your work. When you know the value of your work, you put in the work, you put in the time, and you know what other people are out there doing, and you know you can match that quality or even exceed that quality. And so other people are able to deliver that quality. Look, I can deliver that quality, and I got the integrity to go with it. So you're going to have to come on with the come on, because I'm not only just giving you the quality, I'm giving you the integrity, the reliability, the trustworthiness to go with the talent or the gifting or the skill set. I'm giving you all of the above. So when you get it from me, whenever I deliver this service or this thing to you, you don't have to go back behind me and check it, because you know it's guaranteed. And if I can guarantee my work, you can guarantee to value it. And if you refuse to do that, I don't have to continue trying to provide service, trying to provide whatever it is. I don't have to continue to do it. Man, Stephen, thank you Thank you for putting those notes up. Anybody that need those notes, jot them down. Know your sound. He just posted them. So yeah, I don't have to continue this. I don't have to continue in this relationship. If you're married, you just need to work through it. I ain't giving y'all the license, y'all married folks. You be like, you know what? You ain't showing me my value, so I'm out. Nah, Jermaine said that. Don't blame that on me. That's not what I said. I'm just telling you guys, stick to your guns. Stop undervaluing yourself. The other side of that coin is, once you start to be sure about your value and know your value and stick to it, then people can sense, oh, okay, they expect it. It's been the weirdest thing. I told you, I started this talk out with just kind of really dealing with my own personal journey, my own life. And it's so shocking to me at times because I think I can sometimes be green or just completely out of it when it comes to me and myself and my own value. This whole talk is for me. So I know I could be just completely in the dark when it comes to my own value because a lot of times, you don't see how other people see you. And you could be going towards something and not knowing that you've already gotten there and you're like on to the next thing because you didn't set that goal. You didn't know what you were looking for, so you didn't know what it looked like, right? So one of the quotes by Jim Rohn I like, I have this quote written down somewhere, but it said, be careful what you become, pursuing what you want. Be careful what you become, pursuing what you want. Don't become, in this whole thing that we're talking about, the price is the price and your value and raise it, don't become somebody who's self-centered and always trying to get over on somebody and you're not actually providing the level of whatever you're asking for. Like, be careful not to do that. Be careful. Always give more than what you're being paid for. Always go over and above because you can outprice yourself and it's like, I don't know if that's, you have to be careful. In staying humble, not timid, but staying humble and always looking for ways to improve what you're doing is a great way to continually raise your value. I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly evaluating myself, I'm constantly looking at something that I did, a performance, or if it's a coaching call, if it's a lesson, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm always looking at it and I'm literally grading myself and say, okay, you did this, but you didn't do that. You could have done that better. You could have improved on that. I give myself credit when I know I've done the work, I've done a good job, but there's also that constructive criticism because I want to keep that humility so I can gradually improve because as the value goes up, everything needs to go up with it, not just your price. You need to go up in productivity. You need to make sure you're raising everything. If you're going to raise the bar and your requirements for somebody else, make sure you exceed what you're asking them for. So in a sense, it's like I'm actually giving you a deal because I'm going to give you more than what you're giving me. That's my MO, is to give you more than what you're giving me. And you develop that attitude of always over, give more, because it's just a principle. It's a biblical principle. What you give, you'll receive it. The more you give, the more you'll get back. Even if that person undervalues what you're doing, the fact that you gave and you didn't hold it back, it's coming back to you. It might not come back through that source, through that person, through that entity, through that job, whatever it is. It might not come back through that, but the fact that you gave and gave and gave and you didn't hold back and you weren't stingy with your giving, is going to come back to you. So always check the level of what you're giving. So make sure that what you're asking for, you exceed that in value. You exceed that. You exceed that. I heard another wise person say, you never get what you're worth. You never get paid what you're worth. Sometimes if you're lucky, if you're fortunate, you get overpaid, but most times you'll be underpaid. But your thing is to set that value or whatever it is as something that you can be comfortable with and you feel good about. It's like, okay, I know I'm worth this, but if I can at least get this, I'll still be sweet. But if you know you're worth this and you're setting the requirement down here, then you're always going to be frustrated because you're never meeting where it is you're trying to go. The ends are never meeting, and you're always giving more than what you're receiving. In terms of like, I'm giving out more and I'm not being fed. You can't pour anything out of an empty pitcher. So you hit a pitcher or whatever. So you got to be careful not to overextend yourself and know the value you're giving so that you can accurately give back what you need. All right, so let's go through some of these comments. Somebody, if that helped you, just type in the comments, this helps. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking for. So I want to know when I'm doing this talking, I'm not just talking your ears off. I'm actually giving you something that you can use, something that's right on time for you. So yeah, if this is for somebody, you can type this is for me or this helps, whatever the case may be. All right, so let's go back. Charles says, quick commercial for the coaching calls. They work. My bass playing has improved, and above all, I am more confident. Thanks, Jermaine. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Matt, Charles, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I appreciate our times together on the coaching call. And as Charles know, man, we can go beyond just talking about this bass and these 4 or 5 strings. You know, we talk family, we talk everything. So thank you for being a part of the coaching calls. I really appreciate that. Appreciate that commercial, man. Thank you. So let's go back here. Fleece, good morning. Alexander, good morning. So true, because we care, people will take advantage and devalue you. Absolutely, very encouraging. Yes, sir. Yeah, and Stephen, again, know your sound. I keep saying Stephen, they just see know your sound. Post it if you want the 4 points that I mentioned. Go back. He wrote them down in the comments. So y'all go back and jot those down. Thank you for these words. I needed to hear all of this. Absolutely. Music for Jesus. I appreciate that. Great word. Thank you. Tiffany Charles says helps. Mazeman 713 says this helps. Of course, man. Awesome info. Thank you. This is for me. I see all of y'all responding. I thank you. I appreciate that. Not to belabor or prolong the hour, if you will, I wanted to do, thank you, Evan, for that. And if you still want to drop a comment, be sure to do so. If you're watching this in the replay, drop this down in the comment section. All this stuff helps this channel. As you guys know, this channel is growing, and I'm super grateful for it. I don't take any subscriber for granted. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, be sure to do this now. We're at about close to 38,000 subscribers. We're getting close. We're getting there, and I'm pushing for 40,000. And I'm gonna do some giveaways. But because you've been on here this long, here's what I'm gonna do. Sponsored by SIT Strings, I'm gonna do some string giveaways coming up really soon. But right now, today, what I want to do is I want to give away this strap. SIT sent me this cool leather strap. I didn't even know they made straps. So I guess this is something new that they've been doing, but I want to give somebody this. I've been using this. I've only probably used this like 3 times, and I haven't went anywhere. It's all been within my house. So this thing, long story short, it's brand new. Barely anywhere on it at all. You can see the inside and the outside. Like literally barely anywhere. And I think that's just a suede on the inside. But yeah. So this is a nice leather strap by SIT. You can see their logo there. SIT Strings. And I want to give this strap to someone. All I require, I'm going to pick the winner at random. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a winner by next week. And all I ask is share. It can be this video or one of my videos. But simply come back to this video. Whatever you share, it doesn't have to be this video. Whatever your favorite video of mine is, share that somewhere on one of your platforms, and just come back and simply type share. That's all you got to do to enter to win. And at random, I'm gonna pick someone, and I'm gonna send you this strap. I've used this strap just a little bit. I had it on my 4-string over here, so I'm gonna give somebody this strap. You can look it up on the website to see the price, or look it up on Amazon or somewhere to see what they charge for this strap. But again, this is a nice thick leather straps. If you like the thick straps, this is a thick one. And you can see it has the adjustable back here. Nice strap. Be dope. You put some nice little strap locks on here. kind of like I have on my strap here. Some nice little strap locks. And if you don't have strap locks, it's all good. You can just use a standard, use a standard connection. But yeah, I'm gonna give this away to somebody. That's all you have to do. Literally, share a video of mine and come back to this video and comment share. I'm gonna send you this strap. I'm gonna figure out who it is. I'm gonna pick and I'm gonna send you the strap. I really, really appreciate you guys. And like I said, some more giveaways are coming soon. I have got a whole heap of strings I want to give away. I know somebody think I'm shucking and jiving. So yeah, so I'm gonna be giving away these strings pretty soon. I have a few more boxes of them. These are the Rock Brights stainless steel strings. And let's see here. This is a 5-string set. So it's the 45, 65, 80, 100, and 125. Pretty standard, right? So these are like the light gauge strings. I'm going to be giving several of these away, but help this channel grow. I'm going to be doing this and some other things. So there's some stuff coming, guys, that we're going to be doing. I really, really appreciate you for being a part of Grooves and Motivation. If you're new, again, to this channel, I'm Jermaine Morgan. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, for listening to my little rants and my little 2 cents. I hope my journey, and just to give some of you, if you are new, give some of you some background into who I am. I've been a musician for about, I gotta go back and count in my head. I've been a musician since I was about 12 years old. Yeah, I've been a musician since I was about 12 years old. I started playing that, I'm 39 now, so you do the math. And I started playing bass roughly around the age of 15, off and on. My primary instrument for years was a guitar. I do play multiple instruments, so a lot of that time was spread across different instruments. I did study music theory at Itawamba Community College. I went on, continued my musical studies at the University of North Alabama, where I kind of majored in commercial music recording, the recording industry, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much primarily what I do, is produce, record, write songs, and all that kind of stuff. So nobody ever asks about it, but I graduated from the University of North Alabama, just in case anybody is curious about that fact. And and I moved to Atlanta, did an internship here at Doppler Studios, got to work with some really, really cool people, got to meet a lot of great artists while interning there at Doppler. And from there, career just kind of took off. And I talk about a lot of this stuff. I don't do the name thing in terms of who I've worked with. I work with some cool people, but I've tried to make it a point throughout my career to not build my career. Alabama, yes sir. I try to make it a point not to build my career off of who I've played for. And I've had the privilege of playing with some really, really cool people. Some of the top artists of especially gospel. Majority of the stuff that I've done has been in gospel music. And I've had the privilege of accompanying a lot of the gospel greats throughout the years. And I've been very fortunate to do that. Travel on the road with people like Canton Jones, and most notably that's what I did the most of with Canton Jones, and did a lot of studio session work. Enough about all of that. Through all of that, I have earned a comfortable living as a musician and been able to establish my own brand, as you guys see with the silhouette and the logos and all that kind of stuff. I work more on the artistry side as opposed to just being a background musician, and so that's where it is now. But all that being said, I wrote this book called 10 Ways to Success. Some of you already have it. Thank you for you guys who've already purchased it. And I share a lot of my story, a lot of my personal journey. I haven't had what I consider an elaborate music career like some people, but mine is valid and I think is relevant. I've been able to take care of my family, and I've been happy with what I've been able to achieve in my own journey, my own walk. And so one of the quotes in this book that I want to leave with some of you guys who are trying to become a musician: you don't have to be famous to be successful. That's one of the quotes on the back of the book. and because I know there's this thing people like to, especially when you with social media and you're getting to meet so many people who are doing all this. They're playing for this person, they're playing for that person, and you get to see their posts and all the stuff that they've done. It can leave you with this inferior feeling like, I haven't done anything with my playing. I only play for my church. That could be enough. Success is what you make it out to be. It ain't just, being on these mighty platforms and doing this and doing that. That's just part of the journey. That's part of the journey. Success is not a destination. It's the journey. It's this part of, everything that has something to do with what you're doing. If you're going just to be a great musician and you actually accomplish that goal, well, you were successful. It don't matter how much money you made. If you set out to be a great musician and that's what you did, you put the work in, going back to everything we said earlier, you were a success. Now the money helps and all of the notoriety helps. It helps you to validate the value and all that kind of stuff with a little bit more notoriety. I'm not going to take that away. It does help. But that doesn't mean that you haven't been successful in what you've already been doing. So just to encourage somebody, my story, I come from very, very humble beginnings. My beginnings are still humble. I leave it there. But I'm grateful for everything that I've been able to do and everything I am currently doing and everything that I will do. So this is the first part of my story, and it continues on. But I give you 10 things that you can do, maybe that you haven't considered, right there where you are, to start creating some revenue, some income, some ideas. I did a podcast with someone probably a few months ago, and come to find out there's cats in India who are taking some of the concepts that I wrote about in this book. When I did them, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. I just shared my story. But to know that somebody way over in India is taking things that I said in this book and putting it to use and allowing it to work for them, I know that it's good stuff. I know there's good stuff, and I know if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to put forth the effort, then this stuff can work for you too. It's not a get-rich-quick book. And I'm not promising anything in terms of you're going to be all, tons of wealthy, but you will become successful if you put the principles to work. That's a fact. You will become successful if you put the principles to work. You may exceed everything that I've done, and that's great. I want you to. But I gave you a guide to some of the things that I did and some of the mindset behind the decisions that I made in my own journey, and hopefully that will be helpful to you guys. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's on Amazon, Kindle, Audible, so you can do the audio version as well. I'm actually reading it, so you can do the audio version as well. I have just a few copies left on my website. I got to do another order to sign it. The autograph version, you can get that on my website, JermaineMorgan.net, along with tons of other content, lessons and that kind of stuff. So anyway, enough of my commercials. I have to say this stuff because I don't have a big company backing me and all this kind of stuff. So you have to get it straight from the horse's mouth. But anyway, thank you guys. Thank you. Mr. Larry Jones, man, how you doing? I checked out one of your videos yesterday. I actually checked out one of your videos yesterday on the stocks. So thank you for joining. Thank you for watching, man. Hopefully all is well with you. Let's see here. Edward. Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm butchering your name right now. I'm familiar with your journey, bro. I've been following you for years. Thank you for following and for listening to anything I had to say. I appreciate that. Tyrone says, great book there. Thank you for that. Learn to evolve. Don't get stuck, stagnant. This helps. I appreciate that, Stephen. Edward, how do you say that? Is it Edward? Is that how you pronounce it? I want to say it's Edward. It's just spelled a little different. I was in Birmingham actually Sunday. So yeah, man. I graduated from UNA. That's in Florence. So that was like, nowhere from Alabama, like a couple hours from Alabama. So thank you guys. Everybody who commented, everybody who chimed in. He said, call me Ed. I'm all right. Yeah, we can go with that. We can go with Ed. Got you. Let's see here. Yes, that's my type of strap. You like the fat strap? I've had a few of these. I think I had another one of these that I got from Italian straps years ago that I was using, and I ended up passing it on to one of our guitar players who later passed away. But yeah, I've had one like this before. I don't know. I like these, but for me personally, I think I like the thinner ones, like this size here. Those are cool, and for some people, these really help, their back and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I think I personally am a fan of like more of this size, this kind of size. I've kind of grown accustomed to liking these a little bit more. Yeah. So, anywho, thank you guys. Thank you. And I see you said you shared it, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Everybody, I'm out of here. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. And don't undercut yourself. Stop shooting your own feet off. Quest, good morning to you. All right, y'all. I'm out. Take care. Peace.